What's up, everybody? Ty Bartel in with another edition of Coach's Corner. This time we head to the Tiger town of Newton Falls, Ohio, with their girls basketball coach, Mark Baker, joining me today. Coach, what's up? How we doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on the show again.
Well, thank you for having some time out of your busy schedule to join us and get a little bit of a preview of some hoops in Newton Falls country this year. Coach, let's talk about this team. Let's talk about some of the names we have to get used to. I always like to kind of start off with a sort of meet the team segment. Who are these? Who are the girls we're going to have on this roster this year?
You got several girls coming back that got quite a bit of playing experience last year. I'm going to have 5 seniors on the team this year with Tori Fanton, who's our point guard. This is going to be her 3rd year playing varsity. Madison Davis, I think this will be her 4th year playing varsity. Addison Pope, Morgan Kendall, and Natalie Henderson are all 5 coming back with varsity experience. And most of them for several years at this point. Got some newcomers to the team this year. Well, maybe not new. Mia DeCesar will be a junior. She'll be fill a crucial role for us this year. Another junior, Delilah Simpson, comes to mind. And you're probably going to see maybe a couple of freshmen and a few other bodies get some playing time this year. So should be an exciting season here in the Falls.
When you talk about how much experience you're going to have, well, I mean, what does that kind of do for you as a head coach? What does that allow for you guys to do throughout the course of the season when you have girls that are so seasoned and have been there, done that for the last few years?
You know, you'd think we would be able to do a lot of different things, which I think eventually we will be able to do. I have some really cerebral, some very intuitive young ladies this year on the team. That understand the game pretty well, and you can throw a lot of different things at them. It's nice to have a group that you can give them something in such a short period of time and they pick it up so quickly. I've really been impressed with even a couple of my younger kids that have really tried to throw in some pretty complex things here early on in the season, because we're actually getting started a little bit late. We just started last week. Volleyball made a terrific run going to the district championship, and girls needed a little bit of time off, so we just got started last week. And to throw some challenging things at them right off the gate, I've been super impressed how quickly they're able to learn and absorb things. I'm actually a little bit jealous because I don't feel like I pick things up that easy that quick.
Coach, you know as well as I do too that's growth in this sport, as in a lot of sports, isn't always measured in stats and the statistical things and the things you could see. For you, what outside of those things, the things you can see in terms of statistics and the things you could read on paper, how do you measure growth, not just in players but also in yourself as a coach?
I measure growth in as a program. You're looking at the number of kids that come out from year to year. Kids are coming back. They're enjoying it. They're having fun. You're doing something right. So that's a big thing that we look at right there. And it's just as far as overall, I'm always, do we have smiling faces? Do we have kids that are just enjoying to be in the gym? Are they enjoying playing in the scrimmages and scrimmage time and practice and those things? Are they just having fun? That's a big thing for me.
I think with every team, the answer to this next question is a little bit different, and it's all dependent on what you have, what's their talent wise, what's on the schedule. Certainly is also a big factor. We'll get to that schedule first, but I want to first ask too, when all's said and done at the end of this season, what would you kind of, I guess, define as a successful season at this stage in your career? What would you define for this particular group as a successful year?
I can't really put a number of wins or losses on there. We play in a incredibly talented league right now. Some fantastic teams in the league right now with Crestview, LeBray. There's so many teams right now that are on the schedule that have excellent basketball tradition. So I really can't say there's a number out there. Hey, if we get this many wins, we've had a successful season in that. I feel that we'll be successful if we can be what I like to tell the girls all the time is be difficult to beat, be difficult to defeat on any given night. You don't have to necessarily be the best team in the league or the best team in the county on that night, but you want to be one of the best teams on the floor that night. And if you can be competitive, if you can be difficult to beat on any given night, I think success is going to come for this group.
You mentioned it being a tough conference, and I feel like the tough conference kind of sharpened the iron for that volleyball team to help them make that kind of district type run. Do you feel the same thing for the basketball team too, with the type of competition up and down, and not just the conference, but the non-conference schedule that you guys have put together? Do you feel like this is going to be a solid schedule of a 22 game slate that's gonna prepare you guys for that postseason?
Yeah, absolutely. You make a great example there with the volleyball team this year. Played in a very difficult league this volleyball season, and played some, LeBray, Crestview teams that were Garrettsville, very, very strong teams, and that just continued to make us better. You saw us really progress as the season went on. I think the volleyball team probably won 8 of their last 10 games of the season, and that shows you that growth. And I won't be the least bit surprised to see the same thing happen with my girls basketball team. That you've got some really tough teams early on, Crestview's early on, LeBray early on in the schedule, and those teams are just going to, you're going to learn from those games, and you're just going to continue to get better and better. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to see us, have a streak there at the end of the season, maybe win 4 out of the last 5 or 6 out of the last 8, something like that. That is very probable to see a very similar path that we saw this fall.
Newton Falls is notorious for having a lot of multiple sport athletes too. And I mean, for those girls that were on the volleyball team that, like you mentioned, had that taste, you just got a lot of them back too. What does that, do you feel like, do for you guys going into basketball season, having girls that kind of walk in with maybe a little bit more confidence in themselves as athletes?
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's a bonus when you get to that level in the tournament, and you get a taste of the success you strive for it. You want that feeling back. You want those big crowds. You want those pressure moments. And I think my kids really, during volleyball season, they thrive in those moments. And I think got a lot of girls on this team that will also strive to have that moment again. They're kind of addicted to it at this point, and they want to experience it again.
Defense, defense, defense. I know that's kind of the MO over there in Falls territory. You guys love, like you said, be tough to beat. I feel like, especially on defensive assignments, it takes a lot of accountability from players, from not only themselves, but with each other. How do you kind of hold accountability in your gym? What does that look like?
We just try to, I'm one that always try to shout the praise but speak the criticism. It's definitely one of our definite dozen that we have here, and that's take full responsibility. You're never going to get better. You're never going to get better unless you take full responsibility for the mistakes that you do make. And until you take full responsibility for those, and you're going to continue to make those same kind of mistakes on a regular basis. So that's something we have plastered in our locker room. That's one of our definite dozen. Take full responsibility for your actions.
The game of basketball is one of those that's interesting too. Most of the public, they only get to see that hour and a half, 2 hour window on game nights too, to see what the girls are made of, to see that kind of personality there, but that never tells the whole story. In your opinion, what do you think is one of the most misunderstood parts of coaching high school basketball?
I think I think there's so many more things that get taught in the gym or during the film session that I think go way beyond the game of basketball. There's so much more there that goes on than dribbling a ball or shooting or making a basket or getting a win in a game. I think you're teaching so many other things about character, about integrity, about responsibility, about discipline, and all those things come together. All those different lessons that we make. I've been fortunate here at Newton Falls that I have been a very small part, granted, in a lot of young women that have turned out to be very successful. I've got nurses, I've got doctors, I've got a physicist, I've got some young ladies that have gone on to some remarkable careers, and it's just a testament that I hope that maybe just a small portion of what we've done in the gym has helped lead them in that path to success.
When you get those times with them in the gym too, and you feel like everything's starting to click, what would you kind of describe as a perfect team moment?
A perfect team or moment? That's tough to say. Here's a good moment that I had the other day in practice. We were teaching some young kids some new things, some things that they had not been exposed to. And I was trying to explain it to them, and my girl suggested, "Hey, why don't we walk? Why don't we just shadow right there with them?" And I was able to kind of step back and no longer really coach the drill and just watch my juniors, my seniors, just kind of take over the drill and just start explaining how to move and where to be and what time to be there. And it's little things like that for me. I get asked all the time that I've been doing this now 20 plus years, 300 whatever wins, and they're like, "Hey, do you remember the wins? Do you remember the losses?" And I don't. I'm being honest. I don't really remember the wins. I don't remember the losses. Maybe a few along the way here and there, but I remember those little moments. I remember the little moments like that in the gym where those girls took those young ones by the hand and started leading them down the pathway that they started teaching. And I just sat back and let them run. That was a special moment for me. It's the little things like that that I remember. I remember the scavenger hunts. I remember the bus rides. I remember the team meals, the little things like that. That's the stuff that I ultimately kind of go back and remember.
I love it because it feels like that's got to be like a full circle moment feeling for you when the
Right.
girls you've taught are
Yeah, it's
now
special. I ain't
teaching.
gonna lie. I almost I felt a little emotional. That was a special moment.
What's the biggest key to trying to create that team chemistry then? Do you consider it in those little things, those little moments? How do you build that kind of chemistry and that camaraderie with teams and different dynamics of girls over the years?
I think it's a lot about building relationship with your players. You've got to make a connection with them. A lot of these kids I've had in the classroom over the years that I hope that they know that I'm concerned about them beyond the game of basketball. I'm concerned about them for a human, or as a human. I'm concerned about what they're doing academically to be their best. I think it's all those other little things that go well in beyond the game of basketball.
Well, I know, Coach, you can't do it yourself, and we always like to give the opportunity to all of our coaches to kind of shout out their assistants and some of the others big names that are going to help make this season a possibility this year.
I brought one of my coaches from the junior high. I brought up a year ago, Brian Downing, had been helping me out in the junior high for a number of years, and I brought him up to help me with the junior varsity team. Did a great job last year developing skill. I think too many times we miss out at that level that it's about developing and helping those kids get better. Thought did a tremendous job, and he's already hit the ground running for that this year. I've also brought in one of my former players, Alyssa Dangerfield, which has brought in some new energy into the gym. Someone who knows the program, knows the things that we've done in the past, already knows a lot of the drills and stuff we have done in the past. So that's been really refreshing to have her in the gym. And then I've got some people in the junior high this year, Dana Kern and Aaliyah Rupel, that are just wonderful so far with those young kids. They've got great energy in the gym. They've got a bunch of kids out and just having fun and laughing and doing a lot of great things at the junior high level. So I'm very happy with the staff that we've put together at this time.
We talked about some special moments in practice, and you talked about how those players have come around full circle. But I want to talk about game wise here. When's the last time in a game or a game has given you goosebumps? Because I feel like for me, each and every season, I'm experiencing it multiple times.
I want to say almost every game. I'm still the one. I'm still the one that's getting. I still get pretty amped up. I still that adrenaline rush. That's my drug right there. And for me, it's almost possession by possession. It's not necessarily one game or another, but it's just those little individual competitions. For years, I coached track and field for 25 years. And one of the things that I really loved about track was, and cross country for that matter, I coached cross as well, the individual little competitions that you have. Here's this race, and it might be the 100, but here's the race for first and second. Now there was a competition for third and fourth, and then you had the next event. And in cross country, it might have been those three kids that were battling for 25th and 26th place, but it was just that huge competition right there at the end. But to pick out one particular game last year or this year that really got me going, it's just about every game. It really is just about every game. We did have a really, really good one last year. I can recall we played at Ravenna, I think on a Saturday morning, and Ravenna had a pretty solid athletic team, and we went to their place and we ended up with a victory there. And that was a really hard, physical, up and down speed game, and I really, that was a fun one. That was a fun one.
I've been able to call quite a few of your guys' games over the years too, and I know the kind of passion that you coach with too. And you like you said, you've been doing this a long time. Throughout your coaching career, what's one of the hardest lessons coaching has taught you, and how did it make you better?
I think early on, one of the hardest things I learned is I can't do it by myself. I think when I first started, many, many years ago, we're going back to 1995 at this point. I tried to do everything myself. I had this mindset that I wanted things done a certain way, and if they were going to be done a certain way, it was going to be me doing it that certain way. I did a poor job of delegating, and I learned very early on I can't do it by myself. Absolutely can't do it by yourself. You have to delegate. You have to have people that are willing to come in and help you. I spent a year where I trying to do too much, and then everybody kind of suffers with that. So that was a tough lesson for me to learn early on, that you can't do it all yourself. You've got to have people around you to chip in and do a lot of the other little things that are going on through the course of the season. That was a tough one for me.
It's always the little things that make the big things, right? For you, coach, when you talk, every coach, I feel like when we talk with them, they talk about playing the game the right way. They talk about, playing good basketball. For you, when we close our eyes, what does a great version of basketball look like to you? What would you define as playing the right way for Newton Falls?
Team play, unselfish play, giving up the ball to a teammate. When a teammate makes a great play, that uplifting, that cheering, that yelling, that high fiving, the pat on the back, celebrating a victory for a teammate. Another one for me would be when a teammate is down. You have someone who's not having the best day, and a teammate is lifting you up, is giving you that extra encouragement that you need. For me, that's that we say together on a regular basis, and we are all in this together. Not everybody's going to have their best up on every given night. So if we can get those individual, we can celebrate those individual victories, whether it's my victory or your victory. We need to be excited for each other, and that's ultimately for me. That's team unity. That's what it means. That's the good stuff right there.
I love it. Coach, before I let you go, I've been asking a lot of the theme question this year. I always got to do my theme questions for our coaches. And the theme this year, it just goes into it being more than a sport of basketball, too, and it going beyond the game itself. Can you point to a moment or a time that made you realize that this job was more than just basketball?
Is there a single moment that meant it was more than just basketball? A single moment for me. I can't say a single moment, maybe a number of moments. I can recall back, I've had several milestones, district championships, 100 victory, 200 victory, 300 victory. Getting phone calls or text messages, emails from players that you had 25, 30 years ago. Hey, I remember when we did this, or hey, I say congratulations, well deserved. I'm not referring to my own individual accolades at this point, but that is definitely something that shows me that it was more than just a little bit of basketball. Being invited to graduation parties, to weddings, to sent pictures of newborns and stuff like that. To know that I am still a thought in the mind, or girls basketball, Newton Falls girls basketball is still a thought in some people's minds. I think that goes to show that maybe we're doing something right here.
Coach, I think you guys are doing something right too. Tiger Town has always been a basketball town, at least to me, both in boys and girls hoops. And we're excited for another season of it here on ysnlive.com. We know in due time we'll be seeing you out there on the hardwood soon. Congrats to this. Good luck this season. Congrats to the seniors, and we'll be seeing you out there real soon.
Thank you. Take care.